What's up, YouTube? This video is called What Will Your Life Look Like If You Don't Solve the Problems in Your Filmmaking Career? So let's go.
I'm going to shoot something really big.
Welcome. If you are new here, this is the channel where we teach you how to monetize your filmmaking career and sell your original content. As I said, this video is really diving into what our lives can turn into if we don't solve critical problems in our filmmaking career. And what do I mean by problems? Sometimes we don't even know how to name them. So let's go ahead and just put them out on the table. So let's say you started out one day, you woke up and you said, I need to be a filmmaker. And you had in your head what that looked like. You had in your head that it was going to be you working on your own terms, that your time was your own, and that you worked on stuff you always wanted to be known for, stuff you loved to make. And fast forward 5, 10, 15 years, and you're making endless amounts of corporate content. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what any of us started out to make, or at least 99.99% of us never got up and go, man, I can't wait to make a dentist commercial. Can't wait to make a commercial for a lawyer, right? Nobody got up and did that. We were like, we're gonna make the great American movie. And so now, the biggest idea we can come up with when this starts to happen over and over, this endless gig work, the biggest idea I can come up with is, I just got to take this gig so I can pay the car payment or the rent or buy groceries. It's this endless gig work that puts us in this cycle where all we do is work to pay the bills. Nothing looks anything like what we had dreamt of, planned, or anything. You know, we do that for 10, 15 years where we end up being kind of glorified camera ops, right? Hired by the lowest bidder, and our confidence starts to get chipped away at. And so where does that leave us after this amount of time? So if we're 10 or 15 years into this career, you know, even 7, 5, where does that leave us? And then let's say we do make some work. Let's say we make a feature, right? And we borrowed some money, we put some stuff on credit cards, we hired our friends, everybody did favors, and it looks beautiful and it's an amazing project. And we go to film festivals, and maybe there's 7, 8, 10 people who come to the screenings, and they're all fellow filmmakers telling you what a great job you did. So you just got paid in compliments by people who literally cannot affect your career. There are no buyers there to speak of anyway, right? Because we're not getting into Sundance, or we're not getting into South by Southwest or Hamptons or Toronto or any of these big major festivals where all the buyers are. So it's looking even more grim. Now we owe money on credit cards. Now we have this beautiful piece of work with nowhere to go. It's done the festival circuit and we have a paperweight. I know this sounds grim, but this is the reality for most filmmakers. And that sort of speaks to the business side of things. Now let's look at some of the real emotional impact. We have all these stories that just keep coming. They never stop. And we have all these stories trapped inside us that never get out, that don't have an outlet, that aren't validated by an audience or by the industry. And that just puts us further down in that emotional puzzle. So what are the solutions to this? What are you going to do in 2021? Are you going to say, this is my year, this is the year that I do it? And didn't you say that to yourself last year? Didn't you say, this is the year, but then we employed the same tools that got us into this problem of nobody knowing who we are and no outlet for our stories? So what are we going to do different? What needs to change? So ask yourself these questions. What is the price of doing nothing? What is the price of staying in that attitude of scarcity and lack? Like there's not enough to go around. I'll never get discovered, right? That loop of thought that keeps us where we are. We've gotten so accustomed to doing without that it becomes a habit. Ask yourself, how much longer can this keep going? How much longer can I keep doing this, promising myself that these things are gonna work out? Promising myself it'll be different this year, waiting for some external force to have impact on you rather than you having impact on that industry. So what do? These are the two things that turned my entire career around. I was exactly in the place that you might be finding yourself in right now. So I understand intimately what it feels like, what it looks like to be broke and scared all the time. So the first thing we have to do is be seen as an expert in this really narrow thing. You hear me use the Tim Burton thing all the time. He's known for the word weird. He can make comedy, he can make action movies, he can make a thriller, he can make whatever he wants, because he has a brand that is fully understood, and the minute you see it, you know what it is. What's yours? What's that thing that you do where it says, that's that person, that's that filmmaker, that's what they do? Because if we don't have that, the industry doesn't know how to buy us, they don't know how to explain us, they don't know how to describe us to their boss. So we have to be seen as an expert. Why? Because experts are really easy to hire, they're really easy to pay above industry average, and they're really easy to collaborate with. They have authority. So being an expert is an absolute must. And then we have to go out and talk about our expertise all the time. And that means putting stuff out on the internet about where we just stuck our flag, where we just took a stand, what we believe in, right? And if we're not going to do that, then we are in a place where we are going to wait for somebody outside us, some mysterious person in LA or New York or London, to have our best interest in mind and come over the hill and save our life. They're not gonna. So we have to define ourselves to the industry. Otherwise, they will define us for us. They will say, that person's a glorified camera op. Let's pay him as little as possible, right? You will get paid for your time, not for your ideas. So, expertise, and then talk about it all the time. That means self-promotion. The filmmakers who don't want to do self-promotion are going to be on the outside looking in. The internet and the film industry are inextricably linked. Those are the two things you can start doing is, what do I want to be known for? And then talk about it all the time. Like every frickin' day. I know I'm wound up, but I do not want 2021 to be the same or even worse than 2020. It's your turn. Why not you? Why not you in this year? Having an impact, selling something. If you haven't sold something ever and you're 10 years into this thing, you got to start asking yourself some real frickin' questions. Or if you haven't sold anything in the last 3 years, then you got to start asking yourself, how much worse can this get before I just either throw in the towel or change and do something that is bold. And you hear me say this as well. The safest move is the boldest move. You will never get rewarded for conforming. It is only the mold breakers that make it in this business. And if you're not breaking a mold, if you are not knocking over a status quo or killing a sacred cow, some previously thought of conventional wisdom, then it's going to be a tough road. So what's next? What's next is you can set up a call with me, a 45-minute strategy call where we'll come up with a plan together. We'll look at your career, we'll unwind it, untangle it, start looking at its major components, and then deciding what's next for you. And what I want to say is what's the worst thing that can happen, right? Because it's easy right now for you to be skeptical, but this is the one thing you can do in the next 5 minutes. I'll leave a link down below. In the next 5 minutes, you can set up a call. And at worst, you have some new ideas. At best, you have new tools in your life that you can move forward with, right? And a plan. And you're not guessing what to do. So click the link below. I love filmmakers, and I have been where you are, and I dug myself out, and I had a lot of people who helped me along the way. And hopefully I can be that person. So I hope this made sense to you. If it did, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click the notification button so you're notified of upcoming videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next one, and I'm talking to you.